Welcome. They move the world with their music, and these photos capture their final chapters. In this video, we revisit the last known images of beloved musicians. Peter Green in 2020 with Metallica's Kirk Hammett. Green's blues guitar work influenced generations before his death in 2020 at age 73. Brittany Murphy was last seen publicly on December 1, 2009. She died suddenly from pneumonia and drug complications on December 20th. Dee Dee Ramone's last photos before dying from a heroin overdose 11 days later. The punk rock bassist helped shape the Ramones' rebellious sound. Chester Bennington was photographed smiling with his family the day before he died by suicide on July 20, 2017, at his home in California. Janis Joplin was photographed on October 3, 1970. She died the next day of a heroin overdose in a Los Angeles hotel room at age 27. Tina Turner shared this photo from home shortly before dying on May 24, 2023, at age 83 in Switzerland following a long illness. Aaliyah was last photographed on August 25, 2001, in the Bahamas while filming Rock the Boat. She died hours later in a plane crash at age 22. Keith Moon's final photo was taken on September 6, 1978, at the premiere of the Buddy Holly story. He died the next day from a drug overdose. Freddie Mercury was last publicly photographed outside his London home in 1991. He died of AIDS-related complications days later, on November 24. Bradley Nowell performed with Sublime in their final show before dying of a heroin overdose on May 25, 1996, in San Francisco, California. Joe Strummer of The Clash, captured in his last known photo, 1 month before his 2002 death. His music and activism remain influential worldwide. Dimebag Darrell was photographed at Alrosa Villa nightclub in Columbus, Ohio, shortly before he was shot and killed on stage on December 8, 2004. Otis Redding's final photo shows him boarding his plane on December 10, 1967. The aircraft crashed into Lake Monona, Wisconsin, killing him and 6 others. Jim Morrison with girlfriend Pamela Courson in Paris on June 28, 1971. He died 5 days later on July 3 from heart failure at age 27. Dean Martin was last captured by paparazzi weeks before dying of respiratory failure from lung cancer on December 25, 1995, in Los Angeles, California. Rick Ocasek, lead singer of The Cars, was photographed with his son in Miami Beach in March 2019. He died 6 months later from cardiovascular disease. Tupac Shakur in a BMW just minutes before being shot in Las Vegas on September 7, 1996. He died from his injuries 6 days later at age 25. Frank Zappa was last seen publicly in late 1993, looking frail due to prostate cancer. He died at home in Los Angeles on December 4, 1993. Little Richard, captured 2 years before dying of bone cancer. The rock and roll pioneer's energy shaped music forever before his 2020 death. Rick James was photographed on July 8, 2004. He died less than a month later on August 6th from heart failure at age 56 in Los Angeles, California. Kurt Cobain, during his final photo shoot in November 1993. He was found dead in his Seattle home on April 5, 1994, from a self-inflicted gunshot. Del Shannon gave his final performance on February 3, 1990, only 5 days before he tragically took his own life, leaving a lasting legacy in rock music. Dickie Betts, legendary Allman Brothers guitarist and Rock Hall inductee, passed away at 80. Here he is with his son, Dwayne Betts, in March, months before his death. Ronnie James Dio was photographed looking frail in bed. before he died from stomach cancer on May 16, 2010, at age 67. John Lennon signed an album for Mark David Chapman hours before Chapman fatally shot him outside his New York City apartment on December 8, 1980. Prince is seen entering his doctor's office on April 20, 2016. He died the next day at his home in Minnesota from an accidental fentanyl overdose. Frank Sinatra was last photographed leaving a medical building in Los Angeles. He died of a heart attack on May 14, 1998, at the age of 82. AC/DC frontman Bon Scott was last seen leaving a club in London on February 18, 1980. He died that night of alcohol poisoning in a parked car. Lemmy Kilmister was last seen in December 2015. He died of cancer just 4 days after his 70th birthday in Los Angeles, California. Andrew Wood, Mother Love Bone's singer, was captured in his last photo 8 days before his death by heroin overdose in 1990. Leonard Cohen's final known photo was taken shortly before he died from complications after a fall, closing the chapter on a deeply influential musical legend. Michael Jackson was photographed rehearsing for his This Is It tour just hours before dying of cardiac arrest on June 25, 2009. Jenny Rivera was photographed on her private jet moments before takeoff. The plane crashed on December 9, 2012, killing everyone on board. James Brown was last photographed in November 2006. He died of heart failure on December 25, 2006, in Atlanta, Georgia, at age 73. Frankie Lyman performed one last time in 1968. He died soon after from a heroin overdose at age 25 in his grandmother's bathroom in New York City. Liberace's final public appearance was in November 1986. He died of pneumonia due to AIDS-related complications in Palm Springs on February 4, 1987. Nipsey Hussle's final image shows him outside the Marathon store in Los Angeles, where he was fatally shot on March 31, 2019. Naomi Judd is pictured with her daughter about 2 weeks before she died by suicide in April 2022. The country singer was 76 years old. Melvin Franklin of the Temptations posed at Hollywood Walk of Fame in September 1994. He died of heart failure on February 23, 1995, aged 52. Andy Gibbs' final photo was taken in early 1988. He died on March 10 that year from myocarditis, a heart condition, at just 30 years old. One of the last photos of Jimi Hendrix was taken on September 17, 1970. He died the next day from barbiturate-related asphyxia. Jeff Buckley's last known photo was taken hours before he drowned in Tennessee's Wolf River Harbor in 1997, ending the life of a gifted singer-songwriter. Chris Cornell's final known photo shows him performing with Soundgarden in Detroit on May 17, 2017. He died by suicide later that night. Michael Hutchence of INXS was seen at the Ritz-Carlton in Sydney shortly before he died by suicide in his hotel room on November 22, 1997. Amy Winehouse was seen walking near her London home on July 12, 2011. She died from alcohol poisoning on July 23 at just 27 years old. Elvis Presley was last photographed at Graceland pulling into the driveway hours before he died of a heart attack on August 16, 1977. George Michael was last photographed near his Oxfordshire home shortly before he died of heart and liver disease on December 25, 2016. Aretha Franklin's final public photo at her NYC concert in October 2017, just 9 months before her passing, The Queen of Soul left an unforgettable legacy. Ian Curtis, frontman of Joy Division, was photographed with his newborn daughter shortly before he died by suicide on May 18, 1980. Jimmie Rodgers' last photo on Coney Island, taken before he died of tuberculosis complications on May 25, 1933. A country music pioneer's final moment. Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and J.P. Richardson were photographed just before their fatal plane crash on February 3, 1959, the day the music died. This last photo of Selena was taken on March 30, 1995, at her home in Corpus Christi, Texas. She was murdered the next day by her former fan club president. Ron Pigpen McKernan of Grateful Dead was last seen in late 1972. He died of a gastrointestinal hemorrhage on March 8, 1973, at age 27. The Notorious Big was photographed at a party the night he was killed in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles on March 9, 1997. Bob Marley was photographed in Munich in 1981, months before dying of melanoma that spread through his body. He was just 36 and weighed 77 pounds. Avicii was last seen vacationing with friends in Muscat, Oman, in April 2018. He died by suicide on April 20, 2018, at the age of 28. George Harrison's final photo was taken for Jools Holland's album booklet in 2001. He died from cancer in Los Angeles on November 29 that year. Cliff Burton backstage in Sweden on September 26, 1986. Hours later, the Metallica bassist died in a bus crash at just 24 years old. David Bowie at the premiere of his musical Lazarus on December 7, 2015. He died from liver cancer a month later on January 10, 2016. Gerald Levert was last seen after returning from South Africa. He died at home in Cleveland, Ohio on November 10, 2006, from pneumonia complications at age 40. Quincy Jones, legendary producer behind Sinatra and Michael Jackson hits, was last seen publicly at Byron Allen's Oscar Gala in 2020. He passed away aged 91. Laura Branigan's final public appearance was at Boston's Italia Unita Festival in July 2004. She died about a month later from a brain aneurysm at 47. Brian Epstein, Beatles' manager, took this photo days before dying of a drug overdose. Epstein's guidance shaped the band's unprecedented rise to fame. Jim Croce was captured with his backup guitarist aboard the plane that crashed on September 20, 1973, killing them and 3 others in a heartbreaking accident. Ricky Nelson was photographed on New Year's Eve, 1985. He died later that day in a plane crash in Texas with his band members. Karen Carpenter appeared at the Grammys anniversary on January 11, 1983. She died less than a month later from heart failure, linked to anorexia. Elliott Smith's last known photo was taken around mid-October 2003, just a week before his death at the age of 34. Marking a tragic end to a brilliant career. Irish singer Shane MacGowan was photographed shortly before dying of pneumonia 8 days later in 2023. Chris Christopherson, country music legend and member of the Highwaymen, is shown here with Rosanne Cash a year before passing on September 28, 2024. Luciano Pavarotti gave his final performance at the Turin Winter Olympics on February 10, 2006. He died in September 2007 after battling cancer. Hillel Slovak, original Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist, died June 1988 from a heroin overdose, found days later in his LA apartment, inspiring songs like Other Side. One of Gordon Lightfoot's final performances before he died in May 2023. From natural causes. His folk legacy shaped generations with timeless classics. Jason and Kelly Nellen Clark of the Nellon Gospel Quartet were on board the plane that crashed, tragically ending their lives and careers. Ronnie Van Zant was photographed less than a day before the Leonard Skynyrd plane crash on October 20, 1977, that claimed his life at age 29. Salsa legend Hector Lavoe's last public show was at Saab's in New York City in April 1992. He died in June 1993 from AIDS complications at age 46. Dolores O'Riordan's final public photo was posted shortly before her death, remaining a powerful memory for fans of the Cranberries around the world. Mia Zapata of Seattle's grunge band The Gits performed at Jabberjaw in LA on June 27, 1993. 10 days later, she was tragically murdered in Seattle, Washington. Bobby Sherman's last photo with his wife, taken months before he passed away. Sherman was a pop star and actor, beloved in the 1970s. Marvin Gaye's final United Kingdom photo shoot was taken in London in 1983. He was fatally shot by his father less than a year later in April 1984. Christina Grimmie met fans after her concert in Florida when she was shot and killed by a deranged fan on June 10, 2016, at just 22 years old. Corey Monteith was last photographed at his hotel in Vancouver. He died from a heroin and alcohol overdose on July 13, 2013, at age 31. Lane Staley's last public images were taken years before his death. He was found dead in his Seattle apartment on April 19, 2002, from a drug overdose. Barry White's final known photo is a family portrait taken in Los Angeles shortly before he died of kidney failure on July 4, 2003. Peter Steele of Type O Negative died of heart failure on April 14, 2010. This final photo shows him looking healthy just months before his sudden death. John Denver performed his final concert in Corpus Christi, Texas, 2 weeks before dying in a plane crash on October 12, 1997. Keith Flint, Prodigy's singer, wore an orange bandana in his last photo. He died by suicide shortly after, despite appearing happy at a 5K run 2 days earlier. Melanie Thornton's last photo was taken on LaBouche's flight hours before it crashed in 2001, ending the singer's life tragically. Florence Ballard of the Supremes performed at Detroit's Ford Auditorium on June 25, 1975, just 8 months before her untimely death at age 32. Pop singer Jerry Vale appeared in one of his last photos before passing away at 83, ending a career that spanned decades and left a lasting musical impact. Whitney Houston was seen leaving a Los Angeles club 2 nights before her accidental drowning at the Beverly Hilton on February 11, 2012. Randy Rhoads performed his final show with Ozzy Osbourne on March 18, 1982. He died the next morning in a plane crash at age 25. Richie Edwards of Manic Street Preachers was last seen leaving a hotel in London on February 1, 1995. He vanished and was declared dead in 2008. Stevie Ray Vaughan was photographed backstage on August 26, 1990. He died hours later in a helicopter crash leaving Alpine Valley, Wisconsin. Steve Harwell performed for the last time in 2021. He died in September 2023 at age 56 due to acute liver failure in Boise, Idaho. This is the last known photo of country legend Hank Williams, taken shortly before he died of heart failure in the back of a car on January 1, 1953. Tom Petty was last photographed just before his death on October 2, 2017. He died from an accidental drug overdose at age 66 in Santa Monica, California. Eric Carr of Kiss was last seen at Madison Square Garden on November 9, 1991. He died 15 days later from heart cancer at age 41. Sid Vicious was photographed shortly before his heroin overdose on February 2, 1979, just a day after his release from Rikers Island. Etta James was last seen battling leukemia in 2011. She died in Riverside, California on January 20, 2012, at age 73. Benjamin Orr performed with Big People during his final tour in 2000. He died of pancreatic cancer shortly after his last show in October. Barbie Hsu, seen wearing a black coat and white dress, died of pneumonia at age 48. This photo was taken shortly before her unexpected death. Bobby Darin was last seen before undergoing heart surgery in Los Angeles. He died on December 20th, 1973, at age 37 from complications. Roy Orbison's final photo was taken 2 days before he died of a fatal heart attack, closing the chapter on a legendary career filled with unforgettable hits. John Mayall, father of British blues, died in July at 90. This 2025 photo shows him still performing, leaving a legacy that shaped rock and blues history. Last known photo of rapper DMX, who passed away in 2021. His gritty voice and raw emotion made him a defining figure in hip-hop's early 2000 era. John Bonham, Led Zeppelin's legendary drummer, with his son on holiday in August 1980. He died on September 25th, marking the end of an era. Sonny Bono, singer-turned-congressman, died in a skiing accident 20 years ago. This is the last known image of him before his untimely passing.